Hey everyone, Amanda with KS Resin here. Today I want to show you how to do a classic wood grain. These tumblers are the easiest thing you will ever make. And you know what, I have to admit, when I first started making tumblers, I lost sleep over how to make one of these. I watched so many tutorials, I dreaded it. And now they are one of my favorites to make. They take no time and you can do them in any color. My favorite's actually to do them in gray. I think they look really neat that way. So today, to do that, we are going to need some brown alcohol ink. This is from Tim Holtz. This color is espresso. You can use any of the browns. This is just one of my favorites to use. You need a paintbrush. This is a makeup brush. I like the rounded edges that the makeup brushes have. It just gives me a little more control. Paper towel. And then you need just a little bit of rubbing alcohol in a cup. This is 91%. You want to have as higher percentage as possible. It breaks down the alcohol ink, okay? And then you also need a prepped white tumbler. This is just a matte white 30-ounce curve and nothing special on it, okay? All right, let's get started. All right, so to start, once again, makeup brush or any other paintbrush, and I get it just a little bit wet and kind of blot it off. That way it's wet, but not too wet. And then you just start streaking it on. So when I started out, I kind of just wipe it everywhere and kind of get a base going on it. A little bit of alcohol ink goes a long ways. And once it's on, you can kind of see it starts to dry. It doesn't move around as much. You can either dip your paintbrush in, and then you can start moving your paint a little more. And you just want kind of just soft streaks. Don't want to go too much. The good thing with alcohol ink though is if you don't like it, get a whole bunch of ink and look at this. You can just mess it all up, okay? So really, it's super forgiving, you guys. Don't stress about it like I did, okay? When I do it, I like to put my hand inside the cup. It just gives me a little more control, okay? So nice streaks. You want it to look like wood. I like mine to be a little darker in some areas. Okay, so really you can see it's starting to really look like wood grain, and you just go around the perimeter of the cup and check this out. Alcohol ink, it dries right away, okay? So don't be afraid to touch your cup. So one thing people always want is knots in the wood. Real wood has knots in it. So when you do it, you kind of just pick a spot and you move the ink over to the edge, and then you go back to the other edge. Do it this way. You just kind of go back and forth, okay? See, just kind of a neat thing on there. Gives it a little more personality. Now you don't have to have a whole lot of the rubbing alcohol on your brush. If you put too much, it's kind of hard to see, I guess, right there. But you'll start to kind of get some spots, and you don't want that. So just enough to make your brush damp is what you need. It just helps that ink move around. See how quick this is going? There's no time lapse on this, you guys. It is literally this fast and easy. You see some of the bubbles starting to pop up in the paint? So this section kind of looks a little bland. So let's add it just a little bit more there. Not quite a knot, but just a little more dimension. The very first time I did one of these, I was so nervous, and like I said, this is seriously probably one of my more favorite ones to do, just because I love to paint and I can do quite a bit with this. So they're super easy, they punch a lot of personality. Guys love them. I've done actually a lot of these for girls too, and they'll do like gold glitter coming up from the bottom. It's really cool. Let's see how easy that is. There's a few spots I'm gonna go through where I can see my brush strokes, and I don't like that. So let's fix those. Just add a little bit more ink. I've seen people do these with like the really wide paintbrushes too, like 1.5 inches wide, and they just put a bunch of alcohol ink and spread it on, and it's crazy. I mean, they can do one even faster than this. So you don't have like the knots and so forth in them, but it's just like a classic smooth wood grain. So kind of neat. Now we got the sides all done. Looks pretty good. Like I said, it's dry to touch. Now the bottom. Okay, you don't want to leave your bottom white. Bottoms are actually kind of hard on the wood grains. What I personally do, I just put ink on the bottom, and then I'll kind of swirl my brush around. I don't add any alcohol. Okay, but I always think of like when you slice a piece of wood, kind of what it looks like. This is what I do. To each their own, okay? I know there's a lot of cool things. People do like full wood grains, but I just swirl my brush until my ink dries. See? So, looks kind of neat. All right, easy peasy. That is how quick and easy doing a wood grain is.